Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the 9 p.m. news telecast of the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Sharita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Keza Farooq. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
India to assist the development process and educational reforms of the government. Sri Lanka Navy sees a fishing vessel transporting 53 kilograms of heroin. A Nation United National Drive National Steering Council convenes for the first time. The President invites teachers to become stakeholders in the progressive steps of the government for a new transformation. The value of a gold sovereign exceeds 400,000 rupees for the first time in the history. A loan of $100 million to the Universal Health Coverage Program. Heavy rains exceeding 100 millimeters in 5 provinces. A military leader for Madagascar.
In your top local news, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered assistance to the development process and the new educational reforms in Sri Lanka.
He mentioned this at the discussions held with the Sri Lankan Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasurya in the morning today, who is at present on an official tour in India. Discussions were held between the two Prime Ministers in the capital, New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi pointed out that the Indian tour of the Sri Lankan Premier is considered as an occasional to the further strengthening the Indo-Sri Lanka relations. The Indian Prime Minister added that the India will assist in various stages in the digitalization program of the Sri Lankan government. The digital identity card system is being done with the Indian assistance. Attention was also paid to the welfare and problems faced by the fishermen. In recognition of her achievements, the college inaugurated a new research facility named Haruni Amarasurya Social and Ethnographic Research Lab. During this visit, the Prime Minister revisited the classrooms where she once studied and shared reflections of her time as a student, recalling how her education at Hindu College shaped her academic journey and lifelong commitment to social justice and equity and educational reforms. In her address to the students, Dr. Amarasurya emphasized the value to the curiosity, empathy and critical thinking, noting that education is not merely about securing individual futures but also equipping ourselves to transform the future of others. She also highlighted the importance of compassion, democracy and active citizenship in creating inclusive and equitable societies. Sri Lankan Prime Minister also joined an inspection tour of the National Institution for Transformation India, which is a research institute and a policy development institution of the Indian government established in place of the Planning Commission of 2015. Attention was also paid to education, innovations and Indian policies on public administration along with institutional reforms. Sri Lanka is at present engaged in new educational reforms. Accordingly, Sri Lankan Prime Minister paid special attention to the experiences to be obtained during her inspection tour. Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasurya met with the representatives of the Confederation of Indian Industry and the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry in New Delhi. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Dr. Amarasurya highlighted Sri Lanka's commitment in advancing an inclusive and knowledge-driven economy through educational reforms, digital transformation and skill development initiatives.
In more local news, a fishing vessel carrying 53 kilos of heroin was brought to the land by Sri Lanka Navy today. The vessel, along with 5 persons, was taken into custody by the Sri Lanka Navy, which conducted an operation in deep sea about 800 nautical miles away from the land. Information was received by intelligence agencies of these countries that a multi-day fishing vessel named Sairujaya was engaged in heroin peddling in deep seas off the southern coast of Sri Lanka. The Sri Lanka Navy launched its operation several days before in accordance with the information received by them. The suspected fishing vessel was inspected in deep sea several days back, and the Navy was successful in finding more than 50 kilograms of heroin packed in 2 bags. The skipper of the boat, along with 4 others, were taken into custody and brought to the Southern Naval Command in Galle at noon today. The officials of Police Anti-Narcotics Division conducted inspections and confirmed that the stock of narcotics to be heroin. The 5 suspects taken into custody will be produced before the Galle Magistrates Court after initial investigations. 839 kilograms of narcotics floating in the southern coastline has recovered recently. 5 persons have been taken into custody on suspicion. They were brought into the country, and the Police Narcotics Bureau informed the Colombo Magistrates Court today that they are being interrogated.
The Nation United National Drive Steering Council convened for the first time today at the Presidential Secretariat under the patronage of President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. The council was established to implement a national program aimed at eradicating the drug banners, which is a significant national crisis presently facing the country. The cabinet paper presented by the President on the 13th of October proposing the Nation United National Drive program to combat the drug banners was approved, and it was decided to establish a National Steering Council to oversee its implementation. During its first meeting, the council preliminarily focused on dismantling the drug trafficking network, rehabilitating those addicted to drugs, mobilizing public participation to eradicate the banners, involving mass organizations in public awareness campaigns, and implementing a coordinated national media operation. In outlining the primary purpose of establishing this council, President Anura Kumara Dissanayake emphasized the significant danger that the drug abuse presents to the lives of youth and school children, noting that it has developed into a substantial social and economic crisis. Among those 2 attendants were Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs Ananda Vijayapala, secretaries to the several ministries, IGP and commanders of tri-forces, chairman of the Associated Newspapers of Ceylon Limited Gambini Varsamana, chairman of the ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation Gehan Silva, along with senior officers of armed forces, university lecturers, media heads, artists and representatives from the health sector and civil society organizations.
Minister of Justice Harshana says that citizens being victimized to drug menace will cause heavy impact to the country in every aspect. Therefore, this government is taking measures to eradicate drug menace from Sri Lanka as early as possible. The minister made these remarks during the opening ceremony of the new rehabilitation centre in Velikanda. The centre, which is located at Senapura in Velikanda, has been named as Attitudes and Skills Development Centre. Drug addicts can voluntarily surrender to this centre for self-rehabilitation. Minister Harshana said that the government has to bear a cost of millions of rupees in estimating the expenses caused to police, prisons and other aspects to the society. Although there are facilities for 10,500 inmates in prisons, they are full with over 35,000. There are 23,000 in remand custody, and out of them over 15,000 are connected to drug-related offences. To eradicate the drug menace, both supply and demand should be stopped. A national plan is now underway to cut supply chains. Even without a court order, there are parents who are seeking remedies to save their drug-addicted children. However, there is no such places to direct them for rehabilitation. Therefore, the government will set up voluntary rehabilitation centres in 10 districts. Addicted victims are able to voluntarily join such centres for the well-being without exposing them to the society. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake emphasizes that the nation's teachers bear a significant responsibility to act as a strong drivers and protectors in taking these transformative initiatives forward.
He made these remarks while addressing the prestigious National Convention of the Ceylon Teachers Service Union titled The Teacher Front That Builds the Nation, held at the Sugatadasa Indoor Stadium in Colombo. The convention, which underscored the need for teachers and principals to stand united and unconditionally to realize the dreams of such rich education system in a prosperous nation, saw the participation of a large number of teachers and principals from across the island. Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe said that the Educational Council will be completed during the next year with the objective of creating a generation of children of value to the society. Nothing that will be included in the school system which will hamper the fulfilling of that responsibility.
නරුම සමාජයට යහපත් දරු පිරිසක් ආයාද කරන එක තමයි අපේ වගකීම. ඒ වගකීම ඉටු කරන්න බාධා වන කිසිවක් පාසල් පද්ධතියට හෝ හඳුන්වා දෙන්න අපි සූදානම් නැහැ කියන පණිවිඩය අපි ඔබට ලබා දෙනවා. අපේ ආර්ථික උපාය මාර්ගයේම කොටසක් ලෙස තමයි අපි
President Anura Kumar Dissanayake said that the government is committed to a new educational transformation designed to build a highly capable human resource base. He added that plans are underway to restructure the school system and establish advanced vocational training centers in every district to strengthen vocational education. The country must also build a highly skilled human resource base. To produce citizens with advanced capabilities, the government has directed the focus towards education. A major transformation in education is necessary. Special attention has been given to vocational education with plans to establish 25 strong vocational training centers, one in each district. The government is undertaking a significant educational transformation to ensure the continuity of children's education. The country must also remove the divisions with the school system. Through this year's budget, the government expects to increase the allowances provided to teachers in rural and isolated schools. A modernization of the school system is essential. There may be significant resistance to these changes, but the government is committed to restructuring the school system, and for this, and it needs the support. Every parent in this country shares a dream that their children should have a better future than they themselves had. The aim of the government is to fulfill those parental aspirations. Therefore, it is urged to extend the support to these educational reforms. The President further stated that no decision taken, law passed or project implemented by the government is driven by personal gain for himself or any minister, and that the sole determination factor is the benefit of the people. Therefore, the President urged the teachers to actively support these decisions while raising any doubts or concerns they may have. The President explained that the government is committed to a deep educational transformation designed to build a highly capable human resource base. The President added that the plans are underway to restructure the school system and establish advanced vocational training centers in every district to strengthen vocational education. The President highlighted that the ultimate aim of all these efforts is to fulfill the aspirations of parents whose dream is creating a better future for their children, a future that they themselves deprived of. The President further emphasized that under the present government, no law that people disagree will be passed in Parliament. Furthermore, drug abuse has become the greatest challenge faced by the children of our country. Even very young children are rapidly being drawn into the trap of drugs. This is a major social catastrophe. Regardless of ethnicity, religion or caste, drugs are spreading like a devastating whirlwind, destroying our young generation. This must be stopped without fail. The government has opened the iron door of drugs and crime. When examined it, a far more terrifying picture emerges when he had imagined. The state political authority and legislation institutions have been left at the mercy of criminals. The government could have closed the door and remain silent, or we could keep it open and carry forward these steps we have initiated. As a government, it has been decided not to close this door but to move forward and eliminate this usage. The country is to create a learned, aware generation that can have the faith in the future. The duty must be fulfilled. Therefore, the government is taking every possible step to destroy the roots of drug menace, and the contribution is crucial not only for educational reforms but for the complete transformation that the country requires. Minister K.D. Lalkantha pointed out that people and people representatives instead of rulers and ruled are in the country at present. The concept that the politicians are privileged lots has also been changed. The act where the former president enjoyed their privileges has also been abolished, and a new political culture has been initiated, setting an example, stating privileges of people should not go to the politicians.
Now, the price of a 24-carat gold sovereign in the country has surpassed 400,000 rupees for the first time. The All Iron Gold Jewellers Association stated that gold prices have risen by 15,000 rupees today. The price of a 24-carat gold sovereign has risen to 410,000 rupees as of this morning. Similarly, the price of a 22-carat gold sovereign has increased to 379,200 rupees.
The gold prices have globally increased mainly because of the tensions to an extent with geopolitics, at the same time with some uncertainty in the dynamics of the global economy. And when people are uncertain about the economic future, generally they move their assets to something like gold, which is in economic terms called a inflation hedge, because the gold prices hardly affect with the inflation, and people expect the United States to cut down their interest rates. That means they may weaken their dollar. So with that, they wanted to preserve the value of their assets. So as a result, they basically move to buy more and more gold, and as a result of that, of course, the central banks are also moving to buy more and more gold, because most of the central banks also keep their reserves to an extent in gold form or in as a basket of other currencies. So when they feel that their currencies are going to depreciate, they also buy more and more gold from the other currencies they have to preserve the value of their reserves. So as a result, the intensity of gold prices going up has been increased, and the same impact has come to Sri Lanka as well. In Sri Lanka's context, in Sri Lanka's central bank, as per the published data, we really do not have a lot of gold in our reserves. So the impact on the gold reserve increase to boost up the reserves may be most likely minimal, but central bank can also consider buying more and more dollars at the same time. Impact on reserves, it could be minimal as more at the national economy, but on the domestic economy, we all know there is a significant pawning industry in Sri Lanka. So generally in the pawning industry, people, they extend credit as proportionate to the value of the gold that they pawn. So when the gold prices go up, they can extend more and more credit, but when the gold prices come down, that can also have an impact. So most likely they will extend credit as a proportion of the gold prices increase.
And meanwhile, the government has secured financial assistance from the Asian Development Bank to support the strengthening the integrated healthcare system and the governance for universal health coverage program. Under this grant, Sri Lanka will receive a sum of $100 million. The agreement focuses attention on first referral care services, strengthening pandemic prevention, preparedness and response, and improving technical capacity in the health sector and managing pharmaceutical supply chain. The Ministry of Health and Mass Media will serve as the executing and implementing agency, with all 9 provincial departments of health services acting as implementing agencies. The loan and grant agreements were also signed today at the Treasury in Colombo by Dr. Harfrishan Surya Perumal, Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, on behalf of the Government of Sri Lanka, and Takafumi Kodano, Country Director of ADB Sri Lanka President Mission, representing the Asia Development Bank.
Now in your weather news, the Met Department has issued an advisory announcement over heavy rains. Accordingly, it is stated that some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, Uva and the northwestern provinces will experience rains over 100 millimeters. The existing intertropical convergence zones and the atmospheric turbulence over the island further influence inclement weather, and rains may increase in the coming days. An advisory announcement has also been issued on heavy lightning in the central, Sabaragamuwa, north central, Uva and northwestern province and in the Ampara district until 11 p.m. The Met Department informs the public to be vigilant over the possible lightning dangers. The thunder showers may also accompany with heavy winds. Duty officer of the Met Department, Srimal Herat, said that wind speed in the sea areas off the coast from Matharu to Potuvil via Hambantota may increase up to 45 kilometers per hour. These sea areas may become rough at times, and the other sea areas around the island remains normal. Low-lying areas in the lower division in the Bhagavantalava area have gone underwater, causing disruption to vehicular transport due to heavy rains experienced in the area this evening. Our correspondent stated that many roads in the lower division of the Kutiagal estate.
Representatives of the International Development Agencies pointed out that the human activities directly cause the flash floods occur with heavy showers. They stressed that it is very important people living in their relevant areas can play a major role in controlling such flood situations. It is observed that changes in the patterns in the rainfall and experiencing excessive rain within a very short period, mainly due to the global climatic changes. Experts in the meteorological sector pointed out that such situations have risen in the present period. Major causes for flash floods is the blockage of water flows and the instance of heavy rain.
So we know there are so many factors contributing to creation of floods. So climate change is one of the biggest cause for extensive floods we are experiencing these days. However, when we are communicating and consulting the communities, we have a project in Ampara district on anticipatory action. We came to know that our activities, that means human activities, has caused to increase the flood situation in Ampara district. So it's surprising and also it's pathetic. So why can't we avoid these unwanted activities? Yeah, what has happened? Lot of plastic from the nearby hotels and also household has put into these water bodies, and these water bodies get blocked. It has created huge flood during the monsoon seasons. So let's try to reduce all these man-made contributions to floods. So it's our responsibility as citizens of the country and also like people who are supporting for disaster management to avoid these type of human-induced activities which created disasters. So in order for us to have a safer and resilient Sri Lanka, let's try not to create floods due to the human activities.
Now in more local news, a discussion on increasing the salaries of estate workers was held today at the Labour Secretariat at Narayanpeta under the patronage of Commission General of Labour. Estate owners and several trade unions have been invited for this discussion. Menaka Kandasamy, advisor of the Red Flag Union, said that non-participation with the discussion shows that these institutions has no responsibility to increase salaries of the workers. Unless institutions achieve their duty, it is useless to increase the salary at any rate. It is clear that the estate owners are not interested in increasing the salaries. Mahamuthu Kumar of the Ceylon National Workers Congress said that the president expressed his view on increasing the salary in many places, including Bandaravela. However, it is a huge problem that the estate owners do not listen to this request. This is a pathetic situation. The union and representatives came to this discussion expecting a good decision. However, nothing positive occurred at this decision today.
Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Sunil Kumar Gamage says that a new youth policy will be formulated where the youth can contribute to the development of the country. The minister made these observations during a media briefing held at the Government Information Department under the theme Participate in the National Youth Policy. Minister Sunil Kumar Gamage observed that although the youth policy was formulated in 2011, it was implemented in 2014. Accordingly, youth from abroad should come to Sri Lanka. Youth policy was formulated with a lot of responsibilities, but they were compelled to come to Goldface Green to save themselves. Not just word, but the relevant state for participation is also important. The responsibility of the government is to formulate and implement a suitable youth policy for them, and the government is ready to take up the challenge, he added.
තරුණ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය අපි පිළියෙල කරමු. ඒ වගේ මේක පිළියෙල කරලා නිකන් ඉන්න නෙමෙයි. ඒ පිළියෙල කරන ප්‍රතිපත්තිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීමේ වගකීමත් ආණ්ඩුව විදියට අපි බාර ගන්න සූදානම්.
A meeting to enlighten the media regarding the Presidential Environment Awards 2025 at the Government Information Department. Minister Dr. Dhammika Pattabadi said that the objective of holding this award ceremony is to appreciate the industries, business and institutions who contribute to the conservation of the environment. Another objective is to increase people's participation and encourage the society for sustainable development through the environment-friendly activities.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa emphasizes that the patient safety in the free health service implemented in this country is at a high level. He made these comments at a special commemorative function held recently in Colombo on the occasion of the World Patient Safety Day. The function was organized on the World Patient Safety Day under the guidance of Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa. The day is being celebrated annually under various topical topics. This year's themes has been providing a safe health service for every newborn infant and child. A web page to evaluate standard was also launched for quality and safety. The program included the launch of a book compiled on the quality of health service and safety for continuous professional development. Women's Teaching Hospital at Castle Street and the Mannar District General Hospital received gold awards for their service, providing a qualitative, efficient and more safe healthcare service by implementing various projects for patient care services.
Well, Patient Safety Day was established by World Health Organization in 2019, born from a global recognition that patient harm in healthcare is a critical and preventable issue. Each year on September 17th, nations around the world unite to highlight the importance of patient safety, foster awareness, and promote actions that reduce risks in healthcare settings.
A progress review meeting on the project in securing women in the Polonnaruwa district and empowering them with the economic and social aspects was held at the district secretariat recently. It was held under the patronage of Minister Saroja Savitri Polraj. The minister focused deep concern on the measures taken by her ministry to solve the common issues faced by the child and women community at this meeting. Governor of the North Central Province Attorney Vasantha Janadasa, Deputy Minister T.B. Sarath and group of public officials were also present at this occasion. The state falling ceremony in Minuwanguda commenced at the Meda Minuwanguda paddy field today with the participation of parliamentarian Ruwan Tilak Jakoti. About 20 acres of paddy lands that had been abandoned for over 2 decades is scheduled to be recultivated in this season. Farmers of the area were provided with seed paddy as well. Representatives of the Minuwanguda Urban Council, public officials, members of the farm organizations were also present at this occasion. Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe, who is in Geneva, Switzerland to attend the first session of the Sri Lanka's 5th Trade Policy Review, held several rounds of bilateral talks in the sidelines of the event. The minister enlightened the leaders of the international labour organizations regarding the development of Sri Lanka's corporate sector and welfare of workers. At this discussion, the international labour organizations accepted Sri Lanka's new vision on the economy with social justice. They also agreed to initiate a technical training program for Sri Lankan corporate development officers.
The Colombo Magistrates Court rejected today the bail application filed by Neville Vaniyarachchi, the security officer of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who is at present in remand custody. Colombo Chief Magistrate Asankas Bodaragama ordered the suspect to be further remanded until the 31st of this month. The suspect faced the allegation of earning assets and properties to the tune of 28 million rupees illegally. The officer was appeared on behalf of the Bribery Commission when the case was taken up for hearing today, told the court that a number of properties were revealed during investigations which the suspect, Neville Vaniyarachchi, did not declare. A list of these properties was also presented in the court today. The officer added that most of these properties have been acquired in the names of relatives of the suspect and further investigations should be held in this regard. The Assistant Director General of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, Sulochana Hettiarachchi, requested the court to reject this bail application and to remand him further. The Supreme Court ordered today to reject 2 fundamental rights petitions without a hearing filed, requesting to issue an order annulling the Memorandum of Understanding reached with the Government of India by the Government of Sri Lanka in order to implement the issuance of digital identity cards to the citizens of this country. The petition was taken up for hearing in the presence of a 3-member bench of judges comprising Chief Justice Preeti Padman Surasena, Mahinda Samyawardena and Arjuna Obesekara. The petition was filed by 2 parties, including former Minister Vimal Weerawansa. Coming up is your foreign break.
தம்பிலியோண்டு குடிப்போமா? இது லேசுப்பட்ட பயணம் இல்ல தானே.
இந்த வாழ்க்கை பயணத்தை எப்படியாவது போயாகணுமே.
அப்படின்னா லாபமா நஷ்டமா?
லாப நஷ்டத்தை பார்க்கறத விட வாழ்க்கை இந்த வண்டியில தானே ஓடுது.
இன்னொன்று பட்டுவோம்.
இந்தாங்க சார்.
அது உங்களுக்கு.
நாம் ஒருவரை ஒருவர் புரிந்து கொள்ளக்கூடிய சந்தர்ப்பங்கள் பலவற்றை அன்றாடம் கடந்து செல்கிறோம். கமர்ஷியல் கிரெடிட் நிறுவனம்.
அது உங்களுக்கும் உங்க பயணத்துக்கும்.
Welcome back with your international updates. Army Colonel Michael Randre Niruna was sworn in as the new president of Madagascar after a military takeover that forced President Andry Rajoelina into exile. The High Constitutional Court formalizes its appointment following weeks of deadly protest over power and voter shortages. The 51-year-old new president has promised elections within 2 years and vows to form a civilian-led government. He insisted that Madagascar has not chosen a military regime, saying both civilian and army representatives will share power. Foreign delegations, including the United States and France, attended the swearing-in ceremony. Former President Rajoelina's supporters have rejected the move as unconstitutional and warned of further unrest.
In more foreign news, the 2025 World Intelligent Connected Vehicles Conference has officially opened in Beijing. The global gathering brings together industry leaders to explore the future of autonomous driving and smart mobility.
Running from October 16th to 18th, the event showcases China's latest innovations in artificial intelligence, vehicle connectivity and vehicle road cloud integration. Under the theme Pooling Wisdom for Boundless Connectivity, the conference features state-of-the-art exhibits including AI-powered cars and intelligent transport systems. The conference was held at the Trong International Exhibition and Convention Center in Beijing. It is jointly organized by China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the Ministry of Transport and the Beijing Municipal Government, positioning China at the forefront of the global smart vehicle revolution.
Welcome back with your sports update. In the second stage of the Asian 7-member rugby tournament will commence tomorrow and the day after at the racecourse grounds in Colombo.
Now, rugby fans are able to view the matches of the tournament free of charge. 24 men's and women's teams representing 15 countries will take part in the tournament. Sri Lanka men's rugby team players in C group at the preliminary round with Uzbekistan, Singapore and China. Sri Lanka men's team is included with 13 players under the captaincy of Kavindu Pereira. Sri Lanka women's team competes under the F group with Thailand, Hong Kong and Singapore teams. The first stage of this tournament commenced in China recently. Sri Lanka men's team secured the 4th place and women's team 9th place in the first stage of the tournament.
And with that, we conclude tonight news. Join us tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Sharita, signing with Kinza. Stay safe and good night.
Good night.